Good morning, everybody. I'm Lynn. Fundamentally, I'm an organization development consultant, focusing on organization culture and organization change, which are two of the least well understood fields in the whole field of working in organizations and with people. What's the business case for organizational health? The question, in my view, shouldn't even be a question, because relating health to a business case is an ethically dubious proposition. Nevertheless, the business case for organizational health is irrefutable. And when I speak about health, it includes personal physical health, obviously, and psychological health, which we're hearing an awful lot about these days, finally and thankfully. No business is worth the sacrifice of health, yet hundreds of millions of people throughout the world undertake this sacrifice. Some consciously, others through force, others without even realizing what's happening. We can ask, who am I without my health? I'm a mere shadow of who I could be, and probably who I wish to be. As company leaders, we ask, who are we without our health? And the answer is little different. We're a mere shadow. We're a fraction of the potential that's germinating inside of us as an organization entity. When we speak of a healthy organization, a healthy company, what exactly do we mean? And how can an unhealthy company become healthy? As we've only got a few minutes, this overview is going to be necessarily brief and, of course, incomplete. When I speak of healthy organizations, I mean a company that's thriving, where you can sense the aliveness, where people naturally and actively demonstrate that they enjoy working there and they enjoy actually engaging with what they're doing. They believe in what they're doing, and it shows. The infectiousness is contagious. Customers notice it, as do suppliers, as do family members once they leave the workplace, as does everybody in the local community. Let's look briefly at what it means for people to engage. When we engage, we don't merely do a job. We ensure intuitively that everybody we're working with, be they colleagues or customers, they realize that their interests lie at the heart of what we're doing. They're constantly searching for better ways to achieve better outcomes. It's an automatic process. It's not merely transactional, but it's personal. And healthy interaction should be personal and not merely transactional. Most people are aware of Gallup's surveys, and the European surveys for the past 10 or so years regularly return engagement levels of 13 to 14%. And I mean, that's pretty shocking. And what it means is that at least 86%, and I'd like to emphasize at least here, at least 86% of potential is just going to waste. It's floating downstream. Now, as a company owner, if I heard this and relate it to my own company, I'd be concerned and I'd be asking some pretty poignant questions. An organization is one entity. An organizational health is holistic. It's like we think of ourselves, if we eat something that we shouldn't have eaten, we might get a stomach ache. And if we got a stomach ache, we can't really be expected to think wholeheartedly about our work just because we haven't got a headache. And it's similar in organizations. A toxic environment in one department is likely to spill over. One cantankerous employee or manager can negatively influence the environment in the whole department. And this too is going to spill over. How's such an atmosphere going to affect interaction with customers? How will it influence the capacity for innovation? Questions are endless, and as indeed is the stream of wealth. As human beings, we're social animals, and social systems are relational by nature. Organizations are social systems, regardless of whether we recognize this, and far too many don't recognize it. They're designed and structured as machines. They're not. So to cultivate a healthy organization, we work on cultivating healthy relationships while focusing on the business and, above all, ethics. We cultivate an environment in which people want to work. Good business can only be good if it's ethical. First and foremost, all employees are people. When people find meaning in their work, in their relationships with colleagues, customers, suppliers, they'll naturally take ownership for their activities. Ownership goes far beyond what we generally consider to be engagement. What happens? Quality improves. There's a reduction in physical sickness, stress levels, etc. Economic health, which is more commonly referred to as financial results, they improve. Not every meaningful activity here that we undertake is measurable, but the end result certainly is. This is what I consider to be the irrefutable business case for organizational health. The ethical case is more compelling still. And for me, it begets the question, what kind of world do we want to be living in? We're actually creating this world with all our interactions. So this is a kind of an appeal. Consider what we are really doing in organizations. As